Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Locker Room, the college football edition. We are in week 5. Let's check in. In first place, Louis Locks is sitting at 13-9. People are saying it cannot be sustained. I believe it can be. In second place, Josh Pate at 500, 11-11. He will tell you this, and I agree with him. His picks aren't wrong. The coaches and the players just mess it up for him. And then finally, Josh Pate 2.0. He is 8-14. Massive show. Massive. The commissioner of college football is here, and for the first time ever, his younger brother, Willie C, is also with us. 2 bald heads, 1 full mop. It's going to be an electric show. Big hugs, Tigers. Let's enjoy the day. Welcome into the Locker Room, everybody. The Locker Room is presented by FanDuel Sportsbook, America's #1 sportsbook. Before we get into things, we just want to remind you guys that gambling is for entertainment, and FanDuel always has your back with a ton of responsible gaming tools to make sure your play stays fun and stress-free. Check out FanDuel.com/RG or the responsible gaming section in the app to learn more about staying control of your game.
So every college football Saturday, FanDuel hooks us all up with Bussin With The Boys Profit Boost Token, a 50% profit boost token on any college football Saturday bet. Whom's to thunk it?
Who's to thunk it?
Joshua?
Whom stood
Oh,
of?
shit.
Whom stood of?
Yeah, double apostrophe.
There's more to read.
Double.
Before we start thunking it. We're going to celebrate not just our wins, but we want to celebrate yours too. There are real people placing real bets with FanDuel, and they're boosting with wins every single Saturday.
Let's check out one of these bets, shall we?
Let's take a little peek into this person's wager. $10 on a 12-leg parlay. That was plus 150,512, and this one hit, boys. It hit.
Say those odds again.
150,512.
This bet hit.
This bet hit. This is stuff you dream
On
of.
a profit boost token, a Bussin With The Boys.
This individual had 3 moneyline picks. Missouri over South Carolina. Sorry, JP. North Texas over Army.
Sorry, America.
Michigan over Nebraska. They also had 6 pick spread picks. Boise State over to cover against Air Force, Oklahoma to cover against Auburn, Miami to cover against Florida, TCU to cover against SMU, Vanderbilt to cover against Georgia State, Notre Dame to cover against Purdue. All of those hit. Then they did a 3-match points pick. The under, Texas Tech, Utah, which by the way, Josh, you talked me into the under. The over in Purdue at Notre Dame, and the over at Temple at Georgia.
Georgia Tech,
excuse me, thank you.
Each of these picks was correct. And this lucky bettor won $15,061.20.
In this economy.
That's a $10 bet.
Wow.
$10 bet.
$15,000.
Think about
insane.
the Oklahoma part of this alone. That's
Yeah.
a late safety to go from up 5 to up 7.
Yeah, based on these games, I mean, good for him.
Hey, hats
And
off to
good
that
for him
gentleman.
to-
Hats off to that gentleman.
Yeah.
Hats off to
Amazing.
that gentleman.
Good for him to not sit there and look at that. He was looking at that cash out late in the game.
You know he was.
The whole time. Make sure you head over to FanDuel.com/Bussin to download the app, lock in your boost this Saturday, and start stacking some wins. Boys, it's good to have both of you on the show.
It's good for us to be here.
Electrostatic. By the way, you actually look solid. You don't
Thank
look
you.
bad. It
Thank
was
you.
shocking on Monday. Tuesday you came in. Now Wednesday it's like, is this a new Will Compton we're seeing? Is this a new individual that maybe you don't need hair?
Maybe not. This is look, you're talking about Josh Pate 2.0 is 8-14. That's not Josh Pate 2.0. This is Josh Pate 2.0.
Right.
That was Will Compton. I don't know who that guy is anymore. We just reset the entire season with this shaved head.
Right.
This is I knew it right when the Clippers started to get to the head. I was like, oh, this is the villain era.
Yeah, you're Jocko basically sitting there saying, good.
Yeah.
This is when it becomes.
This is what I needed.
And
safe to
then-
say you're probably going to get all these right this week?
Yeah, you go 6-0 this week.
You go 6-0 this week. I think I'm going to come in with a shaved head. Think, won't, but think. Think, won't, but think.
Yeah.
Do you think you dodged a huge? I think you dodged a huge bullet with the sunburn, because you were pretty red-faced when we left there Saturday.
Yeah.
And you've had hair for a long time.
I will say when the warm-ups and pregame was happening, I was feeling the sun, and it was like we thought it was going to be cloudy the entire day based on the weather app in the morning. I went over and I put on a lot of sunscreen.
Smart.
So maybe that helped a little bit, because the thing that I was fearing there in the second half was, oh shit, I'm going to have to shave my head. Hopefully this sunscreen has held up, because if not, we're going to have a blistering white head and just a red face from the sunburn.
You said that was a second half thought. When did it first pop in your mind? Do you remember situationally?
It was honestly before the penalty. It was the drive where the penalty happened, where Michigan got the taunting penalty.
Yep.
Because they had us in
17.
they had us in like that, the 3 and out. And then the penalty happened and we went down and scored, and that's where it's like, hey, you believe in miracles? I do. I do. I mean, you still had opportunity. It was 27-20. And we had 3 third and longs, 2 moments, screenplays, with plays there to be made.
Tackles.
You just got to get them to the ground.
Tackles.
Yeah.
They go down and get 3,
drive.
and then it's,
9-minute drive. A couple throws in there, a couple screens.
Absolutely. It sucked to witness. I think you guys, like at that moment, you guys were 1 for 9 on third down, and it's like, guys, can we just get this boy to the ground? Especially the one screen, or
the linebacker was right there.
Right there, because the other one, like, it would have still been 4th down, and you guys would have punted when Zero caught that screen play, and the tackle, he's right there on top of him, he throws him off and gets the first down.
Yeah.
But God, I could have been bald that drive. I could have pulled out all my hair that drive.
You wiping your hand over your head is hilarious. I know you broke it down on your show Sunday, but I'd love to kind of get a recap of how you felt during the game.
So you get a really big reprieve at halftime. Halftime, I believe I mouthed the words to you, how? And what I meant was, how are we tied? I just felt like the game had leaned on us a little bit in the first half. But then we're tied. Okay, so great. Like when mild upsets happen where you're watching the game and physically you think it may be a little bit of a mismatched line of scrimmage, 8 or 9 times out of 10, that team that's leaning wins. But every now and then, it's college football, crazy stuff happens. A Hail Mary at halftime is the kind of crazy stuff that would happen. So then we get in the second half, and I started to feel like you felt, only I'm already where you were about to be, follically, and I started to think, I need to get a concession speech ready, because I got at my own thing with Michigan, where people think I'm against Michigan. It's mainly because I picked Ohio State 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
Because they were favored 4 years in a row, and I just thought I was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So then the kids at Ohio State and the coaches screwed it up. I didn't lose, but Michigan won. And then we get in these games like Oklahoma a few weeks ago, I picked OU to win. But Michigan folks don't remember that they lost the game. They just remember I picked against them.
Yeah.
So then we fast forward a couple of weeks, and I picked Nebraska. I got caught up in the moment, but I really did believe Nebraska would win. It wasn't for show, and they didn't win. And then we go in the Michigan locker room, and you have those looks, not of anger, not of disdain, but of disappointment. I expected more from you. In fact, a couple of staffers told me that, and that's what cut me.
Oof.
That's what cut me pretty deep.
Yeah, and I did give you an opportunity right before kickoff.
You did.
I said, right now you can change, it can be between me and you. And you stood 10 toes down. You got consumed by the environment, which was rocking. Like, not many away games you go into, you don't see maize and blue. And there was hardly any maize and blue, because Nebraska fans do show up every single time.
That they do.
They don't resell their tickets. None of that. Bye week, guaranteed not going to lose on this bye week.
We ain't losing the rest of the season.
You got Michigan State next?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to body them.
We'll handle business.
Yeah, you'll handle business.
We'll
I'll be riding GBR for that week, for sure. For the rest of the year. Let's get into the games. All right, we got Arizona.
Great week of games.
Arizona at Iowa State. Iowa State is favored. -6.5. Total points in that game is 48.5. Will, you want to start?
Iowa State.
Yeah?
This is an Iowa State game.
Yeah?
Arizona, if they're going to have a shot, they're going to want to try and run the football. I think Iowa State, their run defense shows up. You look at Coach Campbell, that culture. Like, they're a team that kind of talked about in the Big 12 title game, not a whole lot, maybe more so from you than anybody else. But it always felt like they were kind of the ones not being talked about. You got Texas Tech. Is it going to be Baylor? Is it going to be Kansas State? Utah?
Arizona State.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like Iowa State was kind of on that outside looking in on that club of getting to the Big 12 championship and opening Big 12 play at home, Arizona traveling up, West Coast to the middle of the country. I love Arizona State in this game. I love Arizona State in this game.
I love Arizona State too if they were playing in this game. I love Iowa State as well.
Yes, Iowa State.
I love Iowa State as well. I love how they go overseas, handle business against Kansas State, who you picked to win the Big 12. We didn't know that Kansas State was going to become who they are. Then they go and
we didn't know Kansas State was going to be shitty.
We didn't know Kansas State was going to be shitty.
They shouldn't have been shitty.
They shouldn't have. They got it wrong.
Yes,
not you, Josh.
not me.
Pate. That is correct. Then they go and play against a Big Ten team. Iowa, it's an in-state rivalry. They think they have the new quarterback. It doesn't matter what quarterback you put in Iowa, they're going to be the exact same quarterback every single time. They end up getting that win. They have right before they start the Big 12 play, they play against Arkansas State. It's close, but Rocco Becht, 2-minute drive at the end of half to get 7. I believe in Rocco Becht. I believe in Matt Campbell. And I watched the Arizona-Kansas State game, and it's like just bad football everywhere. You're right. They're going to want to run the ball. Their running back, I think he averaged 7.1 yards per carry against Kansas State. Their quarterback's a dual-threat quarterback. He wants to run the ball more than he wants to throw the ball. But if I look at the competition that Iowa State's gone against Iowa versus who Arizona's gone against, and it's at home, I love Iowa State in this game.
Yeah, their concern was we got a lot of new pieces at Iowa State. We are not replacing anything at quarterback, so that's what's going to keep us afloat. But they looked at this first 4-game stretch. I don't know if they expected to be undefeated. You go overseas for a game, conference opponent. You come home, Iowa, after you play North Dakota, by the way. There's no bye week in this, so you're doing an international trip with no bye week. Then your AD has inexplicably scheduled you to go to Jonesboro, Arkansas, for an out-of-conference game.
Which is crazy.
You can see Arkansas State, like Matt Campbell called it out, press conference, said, yeah, I really feel like we've been set up to fail. I've got no say in our scheduling. Just calling his AD out. So they're 4-0. Then they go into the bye.
One, and like as a staff too, like even if you're feeling good about the roster, like if we were all on the Iowa State staff, we're sitting there, it's like, hey, if outside of this 4-game stretch we go 3-1, we'll be right where we need to be going into Big 12 play.
Yep. So they're 4-0. They had a bye. They come out of it. I do think that the line being 6.5, like that's a little inflated for the style of play that Iowa State incorporates. Like their bread and butter is still a pretty compacted game, pretty close game. Having said that, like I think it's going to be a hard-fought game, but it's the kind of game where a late score ends up covering, and if you're an Arizona ticket holder, you felt pretty good the whole time, like we're in this thing, and then Rocco Becht fourth quarter. His fourth quarter numbers are insane. Just tacks one on at the end, and it's 24-14, 27-17, something like that. I'm going to take Iowa State to win and cover. I can't believe they got through that 4-game stretch, but since they did, now it's game on for Big 12 play.
Besides Golish, is Matt Campbell one of those coaches that these Power 5 schools are looking at, being like, if we lose our coach, this is our guy?
They long since have been looking at him. The difference is Matt Campbell, he does this crazy thing where he's happy where he's at. It's a really weird situation. He's not constantly looking to the left and the right. I don't know if he'll be there forever, because you never know that about any of these guys. But the benefit he has is there's no desperation to leave. He's perfectly cut out for the job he has. I think he'd work pretty much anywhere, but he can be ultra selective, and he could stay in Ames, Iowa another 5 years if he wanted to. Having said that, like if my job came open, I would look to target Matt Campbell and put the right general manager with him and give him the right NIL infrastructure, because the guy could win national championships somewhere.
You're right about that too. Like having Brock Purdy on, him talking about Coach Campbell when there were the rumors of him potentially leaving and everything else. It does seem like he's bought into that place and has no desperation to want to go anywhere.
I'm just telling you, when you walk in that building, he'll come find you and he'll come sit there just like we are right now. And he'll talk to you for an hour and a half, and it's really wide ranging. It's like one of those life conversations with some football mixed in.
Yeah.
And you walk away, if you've never met him before, and you think to yourself, I don't know what a college football coach is supposed to be, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be that right there. Just generic college football fans. If you're a Colorado fan, a Washington fan, and you have this idea in your head, all right, this is what I wish all college football coaches were. You're picturing Matt Campbell, whether you know it or not. You're just picturing Matt Campbell.
Michelob Ultra's got this idea we love. Play for an Ultra. It's all about those friendly little competitions when an Ultra is on the line.
Yeah, like if the boys are doing an Oklahoma drill, Willie C wins, that's where I'd take you down and claim my Ultra.
Healthy knee, buddy, I know I'm taking you down in an Oklahoma drill. That beer's mine.
But see, that's exactly my point. It doesn't matter if it's touchdowns, hoops, ping pong, cornhole, whatever it is, bragging rights taste better with an Ultra in your hand.
Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
We have people tuning in from Champaign, Illinois, LA, California. Compton, yep. The people tuning in from Compton, Greenville, South Carolina. We thank you guys. Make sure you subscribe. The show is free for you. Illinois, hosting USC. Right now, USC is favored by 6.5. The over-under on this game is 59.5.
Sounds like a paper popper of a game to me.
You said it. It's a paper popper of a game right here. What just happened with Indiana, Illinois? This is one that's like, I have no clue what's going to happen in this game. With the culture, Brett Bielema, you get your ass whooped like that. You're hosting USC. If that's a close loss, if Illinois wins or it's a close loss, them hosting USC makes me feel really good about Illinois, but I have no clue what to feel after that ass whooping Indiana and Signetti just put on those boys.
Yeah, this game was taking place while we were flying back from Lincoln, Nebraska, and you said it before we started the show. The 6 touchdowns were scored from wheels up to wheels down.
While we were in the air.
Tennessee.
We had a little Wi-Fi issue, so we did not know until we got on the ground
the Wi-Fi
what
issue
had
was
happened.
brutal, but had a lot of good conversations about tornadoes.
We did.
But you look at the box score and you're like, oh, something horrible must have happened. Where just like all
-5 turnovers,
all the bounces just didn't go their way. And then you go put the film on and like the first or second drive, block punt for a pick 6. Like Indiana's getting home with 4. They're running RPO. Guys are wide open all over the place. Like, is Indiana just that good, better than they were last year, or is Illinois bad? Because this is a game, if you're the coaching staff, you're Brett Bielema, you like walk in the next day and you go, we're not even putting that film on.
Burn it.
We all understand that was not the standard of what we want to do, because we have USC coming to Champaign. They have a 9 a.m. kickoff in their brains because they're coming from LA. But buddy, when you watch that film, if you're an Illinois fan, there's no hope.
There's also the third option, which is Indiana that good? Is Illinois that bad? What if they just had that day, they just shit the bed?
Buddy, you get 12 days. 12 days a year.
We're talking about
who you are.
18 to 22-year-olds.
No doubt.
They're just kids.
They're just kids.
And they screw up all the time. Because I, like most of the world, was on Illinois in that game. Have you ever seen, by the way, did we all pick Illinois last week?
I took the over.
That's true.
And then we laughed because I was like, we were just straight picking this.
And then Indiana took care of it for you by themselves. Yeah. So I said this last week when I was concerned about this. Indiana was a 6.5 point favorite, and almost the entire country took the dog money line. I've never seen that before. It was so weird. It's like people didn't even pay attention to the spread, including me. So I'm guilty of that. So then I look, okay, the next week, I was going to ask both of you, that's clearly a burn the tape situation for Illinois, right? All right, so then you go home, and I don't know if you stayed up late to watch USC last week. I took Michigan State to cover against them. Michigan State needed a late, bomb touchdown in garbage time to even pull to within 3 scores. USC looks good. And I got this working theory that Lincoln used to have Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams would just go out there and run the Caleb Williams offense. He's got Jaden Maiava now. Jaden Maiava, he's a very talented kid. I don't know if he's going to end up being Caleb Williams level talent, but he plays within the system, and you can tell it. If you watch USC, you can tell it. You look at Lincoln Riley smiling over there, thinking he knows something you don't, and the something he knows is he's about to hang 40 plus on you no matter how you play. Because Michigan State didn't play terribly, and USC still ran it up on him. Okay, so then you have the worst possible outcome and the best possible outcome, and we're going to throw them on the same field, and the line's under a touchdown?
Sneaky.
Something's up, Josh.
It's one of those where I'm just going to have to find out what's up, because I got to lay the points with USC. I'm going to watch this game. It could be a game where I'm out of there by halftime. It could be a game where I'm sitting there 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter saying, how do they do it?
Yeah.
You looked at me 3 times Saturday. How does Vegas do it?
It could be one of those games. It's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing that some of the numbers have up, and they're always so accurate. Obviously not Indiana, Illinois, but you brought up the quarterback, but there's also the running back Brown. There's also Lemon, the wide receiver. They have weapons all over the place for USC.
Got a big corner out. Got a big DB out for probably the season for Illinois too.
Right. The knock on USC is toughness in the trenches. Well, their offensive line's averaging 5.2 pounds, and they're all averaging 6'5". It's a big offensive line. Sorry, 319.2. It's a big offensive line. They lean on you. They have a great run game. They have a quarterback that can run the ball and pass the ball. They got an elite wide receiver out there, even though they lost a bunch of guys to the transfer portal. I just don't see how it's not USC. Love Brett Bielema. I have to hear about him every year, once a month. 2012 Big Ten championship game, the way they ran the ball against the Huskers. I have to hear it from a Husker who played in that game. But that ass whipping You can't erase that. You can't take that out of your memory. You can't take that out of your fans' memory and the players, 18 to 21. You say throw it in the trash. They're not throwing that in the trash. That's haunting.
Remember also, this is not some sneak up on you type game for USC. They've had this game circled. I swear to you, if you think I'm lying, it's fair, because this wouldn't typically be a sentence that comes out of USC's mouth. Like Pete Carroll circa 05 would not have circled Illinois as a prove-it game. But you're right. The entire thing people have questioned about USC is, can you answer the bell physically? Because if you can't, even these bad teams that just have big bodies can get you in a phone booth and say, I don't care if we got blown out by 7 touchdowns last week. If you can't stand up to us, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so they know that. So they've recruited bigger bodies. They've developed bigger bodies, both sides of the line of scrimmage, by the way. So this is the one they've circled. They know they still got Michigan coming up. They know they still got big Oregon. They got to go to Oregon. But the Illinois game was the one they've always had circled since the spring. That's going to be the big litmus test, because if we can't get through that one, we probably got 3 or 4 losses coming anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't care what happened last week. I promise you this is not sneaking up on USC. They will have full attention paid on them at Illinois, and that's why I think USC wins and covers.
You've been talking about this game since the spring.
This was the circle game.
Yeah.
It still is. I have not backed off of that. It could be an emphatic circle game now.
It just doesn't feel as like big because of the outcome of Illinois' last game.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
To the rest of the country, it won't be as big. I promise you, it's still big to them.
I love it. Next game?
Give me the Illini.
Wait a second.
Give me Illinois to cover.
Okay. Elaborate.
Why not?
There you go. That's the only elaboration.
Why not
This
Champaign,
is the
Illinois?
new Josh Pate right here.
Why not the Fighting Illini? When you get your ass whooped, we've all had our ass whooped, and your coach comes in, obviously the whole world's shitting on you, you feel embarrassed and everything else, and your asshole's tight because everybody on the team, they all know they played a bad game, and the worst part is knowing that there's going to be repercussions to be paid with the coaching staff when you go into practice the next week. When coach walks in and it's a burn the tape game, and it's basically, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. There's going to be some things where you go in your position meeting rooms and you look at some things that we have to eliminate, the bad shit that gets you beat, that we're going to have to face and look at. But as far as spending a whole lot of time on the game, we're not, the whole world's counting you out. Wear black. It's a funeral in here. Nobody believes in you. And why not make it a phone booth game? And when coach does that, and it's all about resetting, not spending a whole lot of time on your ass, so we all feel bad. We all feel shitty. We all got a bad taste in your mouth. Every player, every coach, everybody just wants to get to the next game. And you got a really good USC team. Again, I don't stay up late enough to watch these West Coast games, but I hear about the quarterback, I hear about the offense and everything else. They seem legit, but why not Illinois? Why not us? Why not this week in Champaign on the home field? We can make it a phone booth. We can make it a phone booth fist fight. Bring him in, drag him to the deep end of the fourth quarter.
They got the coach to establish the phone booth.
They do.
Let's go, Luke
Saying,
Oldheimer.
if Illinois wins this game, imagine what that has you saying about Indiana.
Yeah.
I'll say this too. I got him to cover.
No, well, hold on.
Right.
Not winning outright. But why not us? You know what I mean?
Why not cover?
Yeah, why not cover?
not
Hey, put
Illinois
all
to
black
cover?
on, boys. We lose by 3. We're solid.
Yeah.
And this is a West Coast team coming in. You said it. It's going to be 9 a.m. in their brain and their body. Like, if you're going to get them, this is how you get them. Like, you look at even last year, any team that had to travel always struggled traveling. Even when you had Michigan State to cover last week with the points, it's just, for whatever reason, the long trips, they seem to sneak up on the boys.
Remember, USC went to Purdue a couple of weeks ago. 33-19.
We're talking, that's Purdue.
Yeah, but they traveled already. So they did the cross-country thing already.
Yeah, but it's Purdue.
They won and didn't cover. They did not cover against Purdue. Just note it.
Something to keep your eye on.
I look at it as a good trial run, travel-wise. There was a football game. Yeah, that was secondary. We're looking to get our body clocks right. We're looking to get the hotel procedures down. We're looking to see what time to go to bed, what time are we going to eat. So it's all out of the way. So yeah, USC by like 3 touchdowns.
In USC,
Saturday.
you take care of business, and you see Illinois get mopped. It's the locker room. Oh, we're gonna run it. We're gonna whoop these boys.
I will say this: the model loves Illinois this week. I'm going against the
loved
model.
Nebraska last week.
It did.
But historically, the model's solid.
But
it's not
According to
100%.
Pate, the model would take Texas over Kansas City Chiefs right now.
It's would. The model may have a Midwestern problem though.
The model hates the middle of the country. Hates the middle of the country.
We interrupt this episode to bring you Form Energy. Form Energy delivers best-in-class taste with natural flavors and zero sugar. Form Energy has natural caffeine derived from green tea. Form comes in a variety of flavors. Screamin' Freedom, which is rocket pop inspired, Grape Smash, Blue Blitz, Orange Fury, and perfect for those who put in the work. If you're a guy who wakes up in the morning, gets a workout in, puts in a full day of work, and still gives it their all when they come home, you are built Form Energy. Form Energy. We do the work.
Down south, LSU is going to Ole Miss. LSU is favored by -1.5. The over in that game, the total points in that game is 55.5 points. How do we feel?
This is a no-brainer. Lane Kiffin tweeted, take the over. I'm taking the over.
Yeah, you take the over.
It's that simple.
I think we can all put ourselves
It's that
in the
simple.
over. Who's Lane Kiffin's daughter dating?
Whit Weeks.
Right, Weeks brothers.
Psychos.
Not both of them. One of them. Form Energy Partners.
Give me the over.
Lane Kiffin sits there and says, take the over. You take the over. You listen to Lane Kiffin. He's a coach that looks at the spread, covers the spread.
Does he, though?
I think
He didn't against Kentucky. He didn't against Arkansas.
Isn't that the game that Kentucky
True,
went down?
and also I think true. I think he's very. I think he's
aware.
very aware.
If it's in his power too, he will.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
I'm 0-2 betting Lane Kiffin this year.
Okay.
So I'm going to do it again.
Are you really?
Absolutely
You're
do it
going Ole
again.
Miss.
Here's what's happening.
You going Ole Miss over? Where are you going on this game?
I would go Ole Miss. No feel on the total.
You don't need a feel on the total.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
'Cause
the
Lane
head coach really
tweeted,
said
take the
over.
I feel the side. So it's going to be, I don't know if FanDuel offers a you and Lane style parlay where you just bet your gut on a side and then take whatever Lane Kiffin says on the total. Feels a little unethical, but honestly, where are we at in society anyway? Where are the rules
It's
anyway?
a do what you want society.
So the thing that I had a problem with last year with LSU, which we talked about in our season preview show, was they asked Garrett Nussmeier to do too much because they couldn't run the ball.
Do we have a
Paper popper of a stat here. 31st in passing, 112th in rushing. So it's happening again. They're not running the ball effectively again. Now, LSU fans will tell you that's been situational, and we've got it in our back pocket, just like Penn State fans, and that game we'll break down later. Oh, Drew Aller hadn't thrown the ball. Well, that's because we hadn't had to. Cool. All right, so you're telling me you're going to break it all out this week then. Or you're telling me with LSU, you possess the ability to run, you possess the ability to play the style of ball that LSU frankly always should be able to play because it's LSU. Well, that's good. You'll break it out this week. Here's the problem. The problem is you haven't so far. I have doubts you can. Ole Miss is able to be had on the ground. Ole Miss is 122 in run defense. But if your weakness aligns with their weakness, it kind of cancels out as a weakness. So you're still going to have to find yourself throwing the ball to win. You're still going to put Nussmeier in too many obvious passing situations. And unlike the Florida game, unlike the Clemson game, you can't count on their offense to stall. Lane's going to score. He told you to take the over. He's not telling you to take the over because he's going to hang 17 through 4 quarters. So they're going to score. People keep saying, well, which quarterback are they going to roll with? I don't really care because they're both good. It's not a quarterback controversy. Yeah, it's not a controversy when both of them are good. That's just called depth. That's just called having a good roster. All right, so that is fundamentally why I'm taking Ole Miss to win this game because I think it's by far the best offensive attack that LSU will have faced. Preseason, I would have told you, by the time they play Ole Miss, they will have faced Klubnik and Lagway, 2 pretty good quarterbacks. It just hadn't turned out that way. So this is actually a really formidable passing attack that they'll face. So for the first time, I think they're going to get put in a position where they got to score. I got all the respect in the world for Blake Baker. I got all the respect in the world for that defense. This is not an opponent you're holding under 20, I don't think. So you are going to have to score, and I think you're going to put yourself in a situation where you can't maintain enough offensive balance that it would not surprise me if the difference in this game was actually turnovers, Ole Miss forcing 1 or 2, and that winning them the game. But I'm going to take them to win. This line crossed 0. LSU opened as a favorite, and then it went to Ole Miss as a favorite. Who knows where it's going to settle? But I'm going to take Ole Miss to win and cover.
Well said by me and you.
I liked everything
Well
you said.
said
I didn't
by
like
me
the if we have a weakness and it matches up with their weakness, maybe it's just a weakness. I think in this situation, if you are LSU and you do believe you can run the ball and you pop on the Arkansas tape of Ole Miss, Arkansas, you see that Arkansas was dominating Ole Miss in the trenches. And if you're LSU, you'd be like, we know we have this in our bag, or we believe we have this in our bag. And if it is a weakness right now, I think you test it out early and often. Because if Lane Kiffin is going to score, there's no way for him to score if his offense is not on the field. So handle the time of possession. Put Garrett Nussmeier in third and manageable situations. Brian Kelly has come out and said, like, against Florida last year, we wanted Nussmeier. He probably could have picked up 50 or 60 yards just on running the ball. We want to see him use his legs a little bit more. He's also said that Garrett Nussmeier is a little more healthy And for those reasons, I will be going with the LSU Tigers in this game.
Ooh, LSU. I do have a couple paper popper stats.
He took my notes.
That's your page? No, this is an iPad game.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out Will's last iPad game, he missed.
This isn't an end-all be-all iPad game. I just got a few stats for you. Since 2020, and since this game is essentially a pick, and what is Ole Miss favored right now by 1.5 points?
About 1.5, yeah.
These are the win-loss trends. So as a home favorite, Ole Miss is 27-2. As the home team, they're 30-6. As just the favorite outright, they're 41-8. If I'm picking this game, I like Ole Miss, but I love the over because of Lane Kiffin's tweet.
So what is your bet in this game that I can
Over.
right up there? Over. So you're not going to pick a game.
I mean, I will probably bet Ole Miss, but I'm saying if I'm picking one solo thing like on this game for the people at home, it's the over.
So your pick for the show is the over.
Is the over.
Is the over, which is 55.5. You're picking the over? He's picking the over.
And for this show, I am picking the over.
The over.
55.5 points.
Okay. All right. Ole Miss.
Yep.
LSU.
Yep.
The over.
Anybody want to take the under? Anybody?
Anybody want to take the under?
Some true four-way action here. That's what she said. Let's
A
go.
lot of head
Also,
shaking
by the
out
way,
there.
I think there's heavy correlation. If I'm right on the side, I think you're right. Because I think Ole Miss wins and covers because they score a whole lot. It also means LSU's in trail mode, trying to throw to keep up. So that's an over bettor's dream. If LSU's going to win this game, heavy correlation to the under.
Why not just put that little two-leg parlay together?
There's
Ole Miss.
nothing in the rules against it.
Nothing in the rules
Do what you
against
want.
it. And
Do what you
maybe
want
you
society.
just go, since it's 1.5, you just go Ole Miss money line with the over in this game. That's what I'll be doing.
That's what you're doing?
what
So
I'll be
Will's bet is Ole Miss money line and the over.
My bet for
And a
the
parlay,
show
so it's actually one pick.
for the billionth time is over 55.5 points.
And you're
LSU's
0-0.
defense.
You're 0-0 on the year right now.
Yeah.
LSU's defense, Weeks brothers, Harold Perkins Jr.
I love watching them. But again, to me, LSU is they're still on fraud alert. Like you beat a bad Clemson team.
Yeah.
Or a very poor Clemson team as far as what their expectations are.
Maybe you
that
took
was
their
a
soul
massive
from them.
game. It was LSU. They got the monkey off their back. They won the season opener. Then it's Florida. They go up against a good defense in Florida. And again, Florida threw 5 picks and they only won the game by 10 points. I think they're on fraud alert here. And this is up to Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss to prove it to me.
And you got the over. All right.
For those who want to take Will's money line and the over, that is plus 239 on the FanDuel Sportsbook.
Ole Miss money line and the over is plus 239
Correct.
on FanDuel.
That's kind of nice.
Might have to get that on your little Josh Pate tab on FanDuel.
My little Josh Pate tab.
You got that.
We do have our own tab.
Yes,
Good
you
for
do.
us.
Yes.
Good for us.
Alabama at Georgia. Georgia's favored minus 2.5. Total points in that game, 52.5. Will Compton. Kirby Smart or Kalen DeBoer?
Kirby Smart.
Tell me why. Dennis Stockton?
Yeah,
perimeter?
I'm a big fan of Ty Simpson. I think when you look at that game, like when they played Florida State, even when they played Wisconsin, like two, decent opponents, Florida State being a good opponent, Wisconsin, Jesus. But they are not doing well with their third down offense. They were 2 for 8 against Wisconsin. And what that tells me, like as I'm also watching the game and looking at the stat line, it's like, okay, how well is Alabama doing on? They must be doing really well on first and second down if they're only getting 8 opportunities on third down. So they're going to have to win through explosive plays. I just think Kirby Smart and that defense, they'll be ready to go. I mean, they're both coming off bye weeks. They've had a lot of time to prepare. This is a Kirby Smart Bama game. They haven't lost at home at, 33 games since like 2018
It's a long time ago.
2016 or 19.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID.
And I just, you look at Kirby Smart after the game against Tennessee, and you could just see like, hey, I want to say he even gave Tennessee credit. They played well enough to win this game. Like that was a game that they're going to need to get a lot of things corrected. I love that running back Frazier. Gunnar Stockton, questions going into Tennessee. It's like, okay, if Tennessee wins this game, they're going to have to be explosive, win the big plays early. They're up 21-7 in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Is Georgia going to be able to weather that storm? They
Right.
answer that question, yes. Is Gunnar Stockton, is he going to be able to win through the air? Are you going to be able to lean on him in a big game at Neyland Stadium? He did do that. Zachariah Branch?
Yep.
He popped
USC
off in
transfer.
that game. USC transfer, their receiving core. I like Georgia in this game. Alabama is like on true road games, so no neutral sites. On true road games, they're like 1-5 in their last 6. Them playing at Georgia, I don't see how Georgia loses this game.
I'm with you, and it goes back to the Tennessee game. Like we talked about how Tennessee has to take shots, they have to have explosives because Georgia, we don't know if they can yet. And the whole knock on Mike Bobo, the OC of Georgia, was he's too much east to west. He doesn't press the ball down the field in his play calling. Well, they ended up doing that. You said 21-7.
Yeah.
And they ended up doing that and really, showed like Kirby Smart kind of showed the world like, yeah, we're still the dogs. We're still here. Knowing that they can push the ball downfield and if they get in a pinch, can score quickly and rapidly. I like Georgia here as well.
It's like, I think Ty Simpson is
He's a
awesome.
dog. What was
Especially,
where's G at? What was the stat you said about Ty Simpson?
He's 41 for 46 in the last 2 games.
41
for 46.
41
the
of
last
46 in the
games.
last 2. But to me, it's like, are they going to be able to operate like this for 4 quarters? Because they don't run the football very well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they will against Georgia. And so just thinking like that's how Alabama wins, I just don't think they can do it for 4 quarters.
It is all about each offensive line. The right side of Georgia's offensive line is a mess right now. Bama's 5th in pressure rate defensively. That could wreck timing and rhythm for Georgia. Bama on the road in general has been very penalty prone. They've had leaks left and right, literally left to right on their offensive line. That was the problem against Florida State. That's why they never got in rhythm there. If you told me that Ty Simpson was going to have an adequate amount of time to work, he's going to throw for over 300 against Georgia. There were 9 pass plays Tennessee had of 15-plus yards against Georgia. So the plays are there to be made. There are a couple of DBs that transferred from Georgia that are starting elsewhere. You don't just replace that. The problem with me, and this was my national championship pick, Alabama. The problem is when I watch what happened against Vandy on the road last year, against Oklahoma on the road last year, and then you come into a new season, okay, so wipe the slate clean, but then you do what you did in week 1 against Florida State. I'm not going to give up on you. You just lose my trust. So I've got to watch you go on the road and do it again. I got to watch you go on the road and do what Kirby and Georgia did in Neyland. Young quarterback on the road, places on fire, one of the loudest places you'll ever experience, 0 false starts. That's not been Bama last couple of years on the road. So the other thing I love is, if I'm going to take Georgia, which I am, by the way, in this game, I'm going to take Georgia to win and cover. What I love is they trailed in this game 28-0 last year and ended up having the lead. They trailed at Neyland this year 21-7 and ended up coming back and winning the game. So even if Bama gets off to a hot start, there's no panic. The competitive character of Georgia is such that there's no panic. Mm-hmm. And, Bama folks, there's two-way intangible factor here. Bama looks at it and says, we've owned them. And you have. So they're like, oh, and Athens won't matter. Sanford Stadium won't matter. I promise you it'll matter. But on the other side, Georgia, what they have over Tennessee, Bama's had over Georgia. There's just, I don't know how to explain that. I don't know how to quantify that. But the same strategy I took.
What's Bama, like 9-1 in their last 10?
It's inexplicably crazy.
It is wild.
I'm going to take the same strategy I took when Georgia went to Neyland. I could have made you a strong case for Tennessee to win that game. But what I thought was, if I'm on the fence about it, if I think it's a hard-fought, down to the fourth quarter type game, I'm going to be proven wrong by Kirby Smart losing one of those games. So I feel the same way here. They hadn't lost a game at home since pre-COVID. I've watched Bama struggle on the road. I talk to folks at Bama a lot. They really think they've got their problems rectified. I hope for their sake and my pick's sake they're right. But until I see it, this is one of the prove-it type situations for me. So if I'm going to be proven wrong here, I'm going to be proven wrong by Bama dominating on the road. I'm going to be proven wrong by Bama dominating a team on the road that hadn't lost at home since 2018 or whatever. Like, there are kids who can walk and talk now that were not born the last time Georgia lost at home, which was against Will Muschamp in South Carolina, by the way.
3-9.
Yeah.
3-9.
One of those
Yes, sir.
So give me Georgia to win and cover.
You're not wrong about that right side of the offensive line with Georgia, too. And again, it's like they can run the football well. If you look at their third down percentage offensively, they're batting around 45%, meaning like they'll play ahead of the chains and everything else, which you have to do. You can't get in a shootout situation where Bama can kind of wreck the game on their defensive line. I'm with you though. This is a tough one. Part of me would love to just see Bama, like, if they win this game, like they
could lay the hammer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's another theory, because the three of us sat here in the preseason and we said, we don't really think anyone's going to go undefeated. We think it's pretty compacted. A lot of different teams could compete this year. Well, don't just forget we said that. Because if we said that in August and that ends up being true, it could be that you end up benefiting from tasting your blood early. You learn about your flaws earlier than the other guys did, and therefore you can course correct 20 degrees in week 2 instead of waiting until week 5 or week 6. So like if dust settles, Bama's won Saturday night, and I'm sitting there Sunday doing my show, that's probably one of the first things out of my mouth is, turns out no one's going to make it through unscathed this year. And now maybe Bama goes on a run, maybe that was the beginning of it, and maybe we just found out everyone's got cracks in the dam. It was best to have them exposed early so you can get to work on them.
And your national championship pick is still alive and well.
Yeah,
yeah.
Holden.
We never flatline.
Yeah.
We never flatline.
You guys
got
panicked
scared for a second. Got scared. And everything you just said about course correcting early, it's a great news for the University of Michigan versus Oklahoma.
Does it?
All right.
Does it concern you guys at all that Alabama's getting their starting running back, Jim Miller, back, and an interior defensive line
It's a good call.
guy back? Shout out
It's a
G for
good
that
call.
information.
No.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
The middle of the ball is not where games are won.
Running backs don't win games.
No one cares about defensive
In the middle
tackle and
of defense.
tailbacks.
Yeah. True Classic Game of the Week.
True Classic Game of the Week is brought to us by, you guessed it, True Classic. The Curve Pima shirts, Taylor's got one on, your boy Willie C's got one on, I got on their pants, Taylor's got on their jeans as well. You can find True Classic at Amazon and Costco, Sam's Club, Target, nationwide, or online at trueclassic.com/bussin. Look good, feel good, play good. Let's get to the game of the week.
Number 6, Oregon travels to number 3, Penn State. Dan Lanning versus James Franklin, the 2024 Big Ten Championship rematch, which Oregon won 45-37. Penn State is favored 3.5. Total points that game, 52.5. There is a level of bias with Bussin With The Boys. So I love for you to kind of paint a picture for us, lay it all out there for the crowd, and know that we're going to go Oregon.
Yep. Yeah, I've trash talked both these guys this week, so I'm on an island.
Does the Penn State running game win this game this time?
No, not necessarily. I had a guy earlier this week, like he has amnesia. He's a big Penn State guy. So he texts me and he says, bro, our running game's key. If we can run for, he said, like 200. If we can hit 200 on the ground, there's no way we lose. And I have in my hand a box score from the Big Ten Championship game. Oregon, 297 yards rushing, lost. So
Penn State.
Yes.
Penn State,
Or Penn State, 297 yards rushing and lose to Oregon. So
neutral site now. We're talking whiteout, night game, Oregon traveling across the country.
All that matters.
All that matters.
All that matters. So that's why Penn State's
Scary
favored.
environment. I've been a part of one of those.
Yeah.
Very hard to plan. Loud, obnoxious.
Dan Lanning with a new starter at quarterback, young players.
He's good though, man.
He's good. Is he great? Dan?
Could be.
Dan?
Is he great?
The great? He lives and dies on every word of the show. So we know that. We are.
He's watching right now.
He's tuning in right now.
We are doing to this game as we speak what you did to Michigan last week. You motivate, you fundamentally alter the course of Michigan's performance with every word that comes out of your mouth.
Yep.
James Franklin's watching the show right now. Please just shut up. Please just shut up. Because he knows that we're probably going to impact the way Oregon plays.
Well, since he's watching this game right now, I don't know if it was him or not. There was some message that I got from XXXXX Franklin. Was just the username.
No, that sounds like him. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
him.
it could be him, could be not. But just Dan Lanning seems like a guy that sleeps on his tummy at night. Dan Lanning seems like the type of guy that asks his wife for bubbles when he takes a bath. Dan Lanning seems like a guy that uses 2 hands to squeeze a Gatorade bottle.
Oh, no.
Dan Lanning seems like the guy that used to skip school just because of a bellyache.
Oh.
And again, I don't know if that was James Franklin or not. That's just what the user said.
Right.
So I know both coaches are tuned in right now watching this show. Do with that what you will. I like Oregon.
James Franklin's punching air right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure he sent you that in confidence. So hoping you wouldn't say anything on the show.
But we don't know if it was him. You know what I
We
mean?
don't know if it was him, but we could probably assume it was him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Process of elimination.
It's got to be 50-50 at least.
Franklin.
Yeah, 50-50 at least.
Like, if I'm Dan, I'm red hot in the Northwest right now.
Yeah.
Good news is he's got two mores that are stud for him, his quarterback and his wide receiver. I think they've looked fantastic. Yeah, they didn't cover versus Northwestern. Yeah, I lost a lot of money because of that. But I think they go to the East Coast or the east side of the country.
It's the mountains.
They
go in the mountains.
they fucking
On the
better.
East.
This front seven better be ready to go because the Penn State, like you can have all the comments you want in the world on Aller and the passing game and everything else, but that running game, they have one.
And think about the pressure on both coaches. Like Penn State, everyone said in the beginning of the year, if they don't win it this year, they'll never win it. And with Oregon, it's like, yeah, you know you're a team. You won the Big Ten championship. You run into a buzzsaw against Ohio State, but it's like, oh, we know we got our guy Dan Lanning. He has a much longer leash. And if you lose this game against Oregon, going into James Franklin's record versus top 5 opponents, it kind of becomes this thing where it's like, he's a great coach, but is he the coach that gets us over the hump? So
You talking about Coach Lanning?
No, Franklin.
Yeah, I think all the pressure's on him.
I think all the
pressure's
pressure.
on Franklin.
I thought you were saying there's pressure on.
No,
both
I think
these.
from an Oregon perspective, you're like, we know we can win this game. If we don't win this game, it's like we still have one of the best coaches in college football. We know he recruits well. We know he develops players well. He understands situational awareness. He showed that last year in the regular season versus Ohio State.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to ask for a better coach in college football than Dan Lanning at this point. And so if they lose that game, it's like, I think the Oregon fans are more likely to be like, we'll get them next time type of vibes. As opposed to Penn State, it's like the same story over and over and over again. You go into a big game and you shit the bed. So that pressure's got to be mounting for that head coach, Franklin.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you just look at his record against the top 5 opponents, top 10 opponents.
Notable, AP dropped Oregon to 6th this week to avoid that stat.
Wow.
So now it only matters that Franklin is 4-20 against top 10 opponents. Yeah, forget about the top 5.
Forget about the top 5.
Forget about the top 5. That's done. So you going Ducks?
Well, the thing is, I'm not at all. 31 plays of 20-plus yards so far this year. It's great for Oregon. Haven't played anyone. But you got to understand, this isn't Oregon State. This isn't Montana State. Good call in week 1, by the way.
Thank you.
This is Penn State. Penn State's big. They're physical. They impose their will. Those tailbacks, I would argue Katron Allen is playing a whole lot better of the two right now, but they both possess 1,000-yard per season ability. I got a fun side bet. It is not available on FanDuel right now, so this just has to be kept between us.
Okay.
Just doing a little advanced scouting on this game. Drew Aller so far, 2 of 9 on throws of 20-plus yards in the air. The Penn State people, the most hardy of whomst, will tell me it's just because we hadn't had to break it out yet. I don't believe that. I believe there are more fundamental issues about their passing attack, which means they're going to have to get pretty creative here. Over under 5.5 snaps taken by someone other than Drew Aller in this game for Penn State. This doesn't count injury or anything like that. Aller's healthy the whole game. I'm saying over under 5.5 snaps taken by someone other than Drew Aller, and I'm actually going to take the over. Just to keep that in mind. Just to keep that in mind. We don't have juice on it. It says NA. It's not available right now. I think that there's one team that wants to win this game. I think there's another team that needs to win this game. I used that line last week. It did not work out for me in the Bussin' Bowl, but I'm going right back to it. And I think that it's tough for me to envision a world for James Franklin post-Oregon loss. I've thought about the thing all spring and summer. We're right about the dynamic. Way more pressure on James Franklin. I do think they've geared up and bottled up enough new for this game. I do think that Oregon is young enough and there's too much first time about this game for a lot of them coming over there. I put a poll out yesterday. Keep in mind now, Penn State over a field goal favorite in the game. I just asked who wins it outright. 76% of the votes were Oregon, just money line. So it's got a little bit of that Illinois-Indiana vibe about it last week, where you got a dog that's being picked 3/4 of the way to just win outright. I'm not sure how it happens, but I do think that they sort of just broken glass their way to a win Saturday. And you look at it and you say, that's all right. If they meet again in Indianapolis, I'll like Oregon. But they're not playing. They're playing in Penn State Saturday night. True whiteout. Hadn't seen it for a long time. It's a whiteout on Penn State's terms for the first time. So I'm going to take Penn State to win and cover.
You're right. They need this game.
Badly.
They need it.
Like oxygen.
Because again, it's like you were saying earlier, Oregon goes in and loses, whether, if it's close, the fan base, the media, everybody else will know that these two teams could meet again down the road at some point, whether it's the Big Ten championship or the college football playoff. You lose the game by a wider margin. It's more of like the staff knows, hey, a lot of firsts out there. Like you're traveling across the country, you're playing in a Penn State environment. Everybody will say like, fuck that going into the game, but that will be kind of the consensus if Penn State wins this game. But Penn State needs this game.
And you brought up you don't see a world of James Franklin at Penn State with an Oregon loss.
It's just hard to imagine that world because it's hard to imagine how toxic it would become.
It would be like, yeah.
It's even if it's a close loss. Even if it's a close loss, you're sitting there and the rest of your schedule, you're going to probably win until you go to Columbus. And then your own fan base is going to say, if we couldn't beat Oregon at home, we're not going to beat them on the road, which they're probably right about. So you're sitting there 10-2 again. You're a playoff team again. But the talk is, this is the furthest we can go. We're no different than last year. That would be the talk. Also, remember, they went and got Jim Knowles. No small thing. They went and got Jim Knowles at defensive coordinator. Faced Oregon and Will Stein twice last year. Had 30-plus hung on them in Eugene in round 1. In round 2, in the playoff, shut them down. Different players. Different players.
Different mentality.
But not a bad roster he inherited at Penn State. Question becomes, how quickly does that become Jim Knowles' defense? Like, they've shut everyone down so far, but they played Altoona, Susquehanna. They played a few high schools from up there so far.
Yeah.
So this is Oregon. This is Dante Moore. This is DeCorey Moore. DeCorey Moore, A.J. Harris, by the way. Harris has been targeted, I think, one time all year. Oregon will throw at him more than one time Saturday. Central Phoenix City in Alabama, high school product. Penn State.
Penn State is 6-0 in their last 6 whiteouts and 8-1 in their last 9 whiteouts. The only loss was by 1 point in 2018.
Who was that to?
Ohio State.
Good stats, Mitch.
Good stats. I'd love to see how many of those wins were top 5, top 10 opponents.
Yes.
Paper poppers from Mitch back there.
Paper popper from Mitch.
One was top 3. It was number 2 Ohio State, and the rest are like 19 Michigan, 4 they lost to 4 Ohio State, 16 Michigan, 22 Auburn, an unranked Minnesota team. Yeah, so I mean, you guys are right in that sense.
Yeah.
But whiteout advantage.
If Oregon goes in, and this will not happen, but Oregon wins this game, multiple touchdowns. Like, it's not close. Like, holy shit, Oregon is that team. Is Franklin the head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions next year?
Yeah, because there's no world where I can't. So this is an irresponsible question. I'm going to answer it. There's no world where they're ever bad enough. It's the Clemson syndrome. Like, what in what world?
I don't know.
Do they ever become bad
I'm just
enough?
asking a question.
The skill is asking the question. That way you don't have to answer the question. Mm-hmm. That's the skill. No one ever goes to the soundbite of the guy who asked the question.
Right.
It's the guy who says, "Dude, we got to get Franklin out of here. We just lost by 13."
I mean, if you're okay with being 10-2, Big Ten runner-up.
But what if? Here's the motivational part for Penn State. What if that's just as good as they can be?
What do you mean?
What if that's as good
forever?
What if that's as good as Penn State as a program can be? This isn't a world where they lose big.
It's not a bad life.
This is a world where they lose big. They're going to win.
It's not a bad life.
They're going to win.
You brought up like Clemson. Like, they've won multiple national championships.
That's true. So that's the difference.
They've gone over the hump multiple times. They've been in the playoffs, more times than not.
Well, okay, Charlie Rose, what would you do? You are Penn State.
No.
You're the
I
big
asked
booster.
The question.
No, I threw my cards down.
What would you do?
It's 2-on-1, buddy.
It was a pop. I asked the question. What would I do?
Yeah.
What's the goal in college football if you're a Power 5 program?
To develop academic All-Americans.
To create better men than they were when they walked in.
Exactly.
Right. That's what people at the podium will tell you.
A distant
create
third.
better men when they walk in.
Distant third is winning. Winning's almost, if we do, we do.
And if that's the attitude that James Franklin has at Penn State, get his ass out of there.
So you say if he loses big this game, they need to can him after the season.
How good do you want to be as a program? If they lose to Oregon and they go and beat Ohio State, they win the Big Ten championship, they win the national. No, I'm not saying. I asked the question. It was just a fun question for the show. However, if you sit there and you're a
Penn
State alumni, if you're a Penn State alumni and you're like, the best we'll ever be is 10-2 because we'll never beat the top 10 teams. I don't want to live in that world. I want to live with hope every single year.
So let me ask you this.
I would rather risk it all and be like, let's go see if we can get over that
And you
hump.
turn into Florida. Yeah.
Let's say
They have national championship.
let's say this. You lose to Oregon close. You lose to Nebraska close.
Jeez.
Time out. Oh, I need to find a second loss on the schedule. You're 10-2. You don't make the Big Ten championship. You get to the college football playoff. You win the first game, lose the second game. What are you doing with Franklin after the season?
Probably nothing.
I thought you wanted to
We're
win it
living.
all.
Okay, I did.
We're living in a world. The world we were just living in when I was answering your question was Oregon blew them out by 21.
Okay, they get blown out. They get blown
You put
out.
me in a new world where they close lost to
Okay,
Oregon.
they get blown out.
Close loss to Nebraska.
And then
If you're
somehow
Penn
beat
State-
Ohio State on the road, by the way.
Yeah, you beat Ohio State on the
Yeah, that was
road,
nice.
but you lose to Nebraska. It's like,
Okay, so
we're a little confused.
you get blown out by Oregon. You get beat pretty good by Ohio State. You miss the Big Ten championship. You win a game in the college football playoff, and then you get bounced in the college football playoff. What are you doing with James Franklin?
It depends how he handles the podium.
It really
Depends
it
how he
comes down to
handles
the
podium.
presser.
It all comes down to the
Yeah.
presser for me. If he just Slim Shady's himself, 8 miles himself, and be like, this is on me. I fucked up. I'm the problem. People be like, he's right, but
Yeah.
he'll fix it.
Yeah.
Because what does B Rabbit do at the end of that movie? He goes off. Put your motherfucking hands up just like me.
Trade Davin with James Franklin.
Wow, just the old switcheroo.
Trade.
Trade them both.
Just for trade.
What about
just
Matt
straight up
Campbell?
trade.
What about Matt Campbell?
Would it say Penn State were to fire James Franklin, which they probably will not do? You think Matt Campbell would go to Penn State given the NIL structure?
Penn State should have the NIL structure, yeah?
The answer is yes, he would.
Oh, you know that.
No, I'm just saying, like, Matt Campbell and I are one and the same. We're the same people.
Okay.
We would go
You
to
and
Penn
Will are
State.
the same
I
people.
was going to say,
three
so
of us-
me, you, and Matt
Three
Campbell
of us
we're one
would
and the
take
same.
the Penn State job. I've got a few
Will's
jobs.
not taking the Penn State job.
With the right NIL infrastructure.
This guy, this is day
Will might.
one. This is day one. You don't know much about this dude.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about him. You're right.
This is Mick Foley, like, becoming
just
Cactus
imagine-
Jack. This is a different cat.
William Earl Compton III, head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions, middle of November, taking on Nebraska Cornhuskers. You can't tell me Will doesn't throw that game.
Yeah.
You can't tell me he takes a knee every play on offense.
11-1 season. One loss to the Huskers.
What have you seen in the playoffs?
Yeah, then we'll be 11-2.
That's the problem, man. That's the problem. So what I've gathered is both you guys want Franklin gone.
We've gathered you like to see some chaos.
I love chaos. And I think in the world we live in where your best outcome forever with James Franklin is 10-2, yeah, you move on.
Yeah. So
That is your outcome forever. Because we've lived in multiple crazy worlds on this show. And it's like, yeah, if you can't get over the hump with this coach, and it truly is like a genie comes out of a bottle and goes, this is your ceiling. And it's like, yeah, move on. Go Matt Campbell. Right infrastructure.
right after we beat Arizona, take care of Arizona first.
Take care of Arizona first. Onward and upward.
How about these dogs of the week?
Let's talk about dogs of the week.
How about the dogs of the week, Joshua? Who you got?
I've been rolling on Dogs of the Week. I think we should have our records posted for Dogs of the Week, by the way.
I disagree. I don't think we should. I think people should turn the show off now.
Great
after they
counter.
subscribe.
Great
right?
counter. I think we should have Dogs of the Week. Well, let me hit you with this. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
think so.
that. I am taking a team that I have drugged relentlessly for years. I refer to them as food. I don't even call them by their real name. But Rice is all of a sudden pretty good. And they're getting 14.5 this week. And I think they were 12.5 point dog and won outright last week. So I'm going to bet on food plus 14.5 against Navy. May win outright. That's my dog of the week.
Go ahead, Will.
Cincinnati plus 5.5 against Kansas. Sorsby. Cincinnati making a push for some Big 12 conversation.
Good strength of schedule boost.
Is that a dog of the week pick, or is that a we need the Nebraska Cornhuskers to look better pick?
That's a dog of the week pick.
That will make Nebraska look better.
That will make Nebraska look better. I'm gonna take UCLA plus 6.5 versus Northwestern.
Oh, bro.
The interim head coach,
Hey, Taylor.
Tim Skip,
UCLA?
interim head coach.
All right.
Tim Skipper
This ain't the NFL.
was the interim head coach for Fresno State in their bowl game. They won that game 37-10. Something about our interim head coach. I changed. You look at the last UCLA coach. I'm not even going to say his name for two reasons. One, probably couldn't pronounce it because I'm bad at that. Also, don't even know his name that just got fired.
Deshaun.
But his press conference, when he got the job, you knew right then and there, this man is not a leader of men. He can't even put a sentence together. Tim Skipper will cover at Northwestern, and then they'll go to the park right next to the stadium.
Yeah.
Have a good time, monkey bars. Plus 6.5. And then I want that posted. No, I don't want that posted on my record. I don't. I was going to get a little froggy there. Huh?
What are the records for dogs?
Don't.
Josh Pate is 3-1.
Told you.
Will is 3-1.
That's it.
Taylor is 1-3.
Well, good thing those don't matter in the Louis Locks category. And people have already turned off the show because I told them to. So, no one's even watching this right now. No one heard that
You think
stat.
UCLA plus 6.5?
I think Tim Skipper.
Traveling
interim
to
head coach.
Northwestern.
Yeah. Northwestern, there's 15 fans there.
They'll be loud.
There's families having
Those are aluminum
picnics on the
bleachers,
side.
buddy.
Yeah, aluminum bleachers. It's beautiful there.
Model does love UCLA.
What's the model loves what?
Model does love UCLA. It believes in the backup quarterback and it believes in the interim head coach. It loves both of them because it thinks that they're never as bad as the bottoming out that society places on those teams, and there's immense value to be found there.
Immense value.
Immense. We interrupt this episode to bring you the Bussin With The Boys. If you don't already know, the boys have a 50% profit boost token available every college football Saturday. That's a 50% boost on any college football Saturday bet. Just open up the FanDuel Sportsbook app this Saturday and look out for the Bussin With The Boys profit boost token.
Looks like we're going.
I have a
2 and
question
3.
on our weekly parlay.
Yep.
And it's this is Taylor's pick, but the question is for Josh. Florida State is favored by 6.5 at Virginia.
Friday night game.
Yeah.
Why does this feel so low?
I don't know. Well, because it is. Because you have in your mind, what do you think about when you think about Florida State this year?
Good.
Everybody thinks the same thing, the Bama game. There's nothing fraudulent about that
I
game.
thought the same thing.
I was like, 6.5, buddy.
Nothing has happened to Florida State since then. I had Kent State plus 44.5 last week, and they ran Kent State. No one's looking at it. Oh, of course you're supposed to beat Kent State, but they beat them into a coma. So they're doing exactly what an elite team would do. So, yeah, this could be a trap, whatever. It could also be a game you look back on a month from now when Florida State's in the thick of the playoff race and say, remember when it took Vegas a little while to believe in them and they were only a 6.5 point favorite on the road at Virginia on a Friday night? So I don't know. I can't explain it. Model has no strong lean on it. I think it's because it's slow playing Florida State as well, but I think they're going to go lay the wood. So I would lay the wood.
So you like my pick?
Yeah, I like the pick.
Yeah, I love the pick too. I'm
Florida
sitting there,
State
I'm sitting there
-6.5
wondering
at
why the
Virginia.
line's so low. Is that a ramen noodler?
I don't think it's going to be a ramen noodler, mainly because it will have already happened by the time I do the Ramen Noodle Express Friday Night
Okay.
Lines. Yeah. Actually, I got to figure that out. We'll talk about that off air.
Okay, yeah. We'll figure that out with our model.
So you guys talked about my pick for the parlay. Florida State -6.5.
Yep. I want to stay in the state of Florida. Only we're going to go to Kansas to bet a team from Florida. It's not Central Florida. It's UCF. We want to be respectful.
Yeah, talk to me about that. You were explaining the UCF Central Florida.
So there's a thing that UCF hates, and that's being called Central Florida. Apparently, Belichick referred to him as Central Florida, and then they did what everybody's doing to Belichick, which is smoking him this year. But they afterwards said it was very disrespectful. He was referring to us as Central Florida, and then the rest of the society was like, they checked, like Wikipedia. What does UCF stand for? University of Central Florida. Oh, that's what I thought. What's disrespectful? So anyway, that's been happening. Then we find out, if you go to FanDuel and bet this game, which we are as part of this parlay, UCF plus 6.5, it's not listed as UCF. It's listed as Central Florida.
FanDuel disrespected.
Which begs the question, what do FanDuel and Bill Belichick know that we don't know? These are the 20.
Do you have the answer to that question?
These are the 2017 national champs. I know that because the banner says so in their stadium.
Yeah, true.
So I'm going to take UCF plus 6.5, frankly, because there's no world where Kansas State should be laying points to anyone right now. So that's a principal play. Also, the model happens to love it. UCF plus 6.5.
The model.
Our model does love it.
Our model is
Anytime,
love it.
each
Good news
week,
for this too is it's not in the Midwest, which is nice.
each week for the
Kansas count as
parlay.
Midwest?
For our purposes today, no.
No, it does not.
No.
Is Kansas Midwest?
Kansas is Midwest, yeah.
It's pretty Midwest.
Yeah.
Is it pretty Midwest?
It's pretty Midwest.
I was gonna say you kind of confused me with that
Real
reaction
flat.
because I'm thinking, yeah, Kansas is the
But
Midwest.
the model doesn't understand the Midwest.
We'll fix the model.
It understands Kansas State, though.
It does.
Yeah. It's been good on Kansas State.
They pick Iowa State.
It did.
Okay.
Yep. We had them week 1. Week 0, my bad.
Kansas State is a team I search in FanDuel looking, hoping for the parlay pick or a dog pick. I did see you had them, so I was bummed out because I'm like, oh yeah, them favored by 6.5. They should not be favored against anybody. I'm gonna take Tennessee minus 7.5 at Mississippi State.
The
love
line's
that
come
pick.
down a lot this week.
I
It was
love that
9.5.
It was 9.5. Now it's 7.5. I know I haven't spoken to Jack. I have spoken to another Sicko Vols fan, Chef Jack. He's a little nervous about this game. He says Mississippi State's a little bit better than people realize. Sitting there at a little quiet 4-0 right now, but I like Tennessee. They had a very tough loss. Obviously, the entire world saw it against Georgia. I like the offense. I like the team. I like the team to bounce back because again, I feel like they're hurting in a way to where it's like you did everything to win that game against Georgia. Got to make the kick. A couple penalties you look back on. A couple big plays you gave up that you shouldn't have. I like the Tennessee team. I like the staff right now. The way that they've responded. Coming out with the year being an electric offense, I think the culture's there that they're going to go down into Mississippi State and run them and cover 7.5. So that's who I'm taking in the parlay. I did see when I went to FanDuel and scrolled and looked at the old Josh Pate, our little Josh Pate tab, I saw you had Mississippi State on there plus 9.5.
I think Mississippi State's going to play them better defensively than Georgia did. Fewer explosives. Make them put together sustained drives. If anything, I think the under is the move on this. Everyone thinks points. Levy, Heupel. Everyone thinks points. Totals in the mid-50s, I think, or something like that. I'll probably end up adding that Friday night.
On your little tab.
Yeah, my little tab.
Yeah.
It's not a tab.
It's a little.
It's just a little tab.
Jack,
Very
how are you
hard-hitting
feeling about
cursor.
this game?
Yes.
Jack stands up off his
Slowly,
chair.
right now, play by play, slowly walking to the microphone.
Yeah.
Smart.
Seems like
You
his
can gather your
lower
thoughts.
seems like his lower back's a little tight getting out of the chair.
My lower back is tight. Last night, I don't know what happened. I made one false move and something on the side, but so yeah.
You get on the other side of 30, man. It's different.
I know it's difficult. Jack Chef over here, another Vol sicko, has me a little nervous the way he talked about it, and that's fine. Last week I was all about the cover against UAB. Was very upset that Trent Dilfer put 24 points up, but then you have to look that Merklinger is also not the guy that we want as our backup, and we had the 2s and 3s and scout team in, so I'm not looking for a cover this week. All I'm looking for is a Vol fall win. It's going to be a tough away game too, but the one positive that I can stretch out of this that has nothing to do with the players on the field or the coaching is that Joey Aguilar, his mom, reached out to me this week about a video that Chef made that is apparently getting posted on the Aguilar family Instagram. And if that's not something to believe in, then I don't know what is.
Wow.
Hey, that's awesome.
Wow.
Let's go.
I think
Shout out
about
Miss Aguilar.
I think about Chef Jack as well as last week when all eyes were on the Bussin Bowl, I was pressing him a little bit, like, who are you going with? He's like, I'm going Nebraska. And I was like, oh, smart move. He is your boss. Like, you should do that. And he's like, can I be honest with you? I'm really just focused on UAB. Like, 50% of my brain goes to Tennessee, and then the rest of college football gets the other 50% in the fall. And so, him being nervous about a game, I feel like is just something you have to like kind of just, all right, it's like a fly,
Yeah.
knock it off the old leg.
He almost had me in a corner. Fortunately, I ran a good little offensive play to get out of the cornered model, but he almost had me there for a good. I got out of there in probably 4 minutes with the Mississippi State talk, but I held off a 30-minute play by Chef Jack.
Yeah.
I like this parlay.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take this parlay.
Yeah.
I'm going to rip it up.
Plus 536. Is that right?
Plus
Yep.
536.
Drop a Will Compton bomb on that one. We feel good?
Here's what I want to ask. Should I move this to the under?
I don't want to be responsible for us blowing this.
Tennessee
Tech.
minus 7.5. Tennessee
Okay.
minus 7.5.
Texas Tech, Utah, I was telling people, hey, take the over. There'll be a lot of points, blah, blah, blah. we talk in the airport, and you're like, this is an under game. And I immediately started firing off text to all the boys I was telling over. Hey, you got to go under. Josh Pate said so. And the under hit.
My model loves Tennessee.
He said
minus
just like
7.5.
he's saying it to you about this game. What's your model love?
My model loves Tennessee minus 7.5.
I love it. Plus 536.
In the FanDuel app. Florida State minus 6.5. UCF plus 6.5. Tennessee minus 7.5. That rounds out to total odds plus 536 in FanDuel. Bet it responsibly.
Responsibly.
Josh, hell of a show.
Yeah, great job, Ben.
Good job,
Josh.
Josh.
Thank you.
See you next week. Big
Onward.
hugs, tiny kisses.